Hello, Leonie Whiting here from Frogfish Cards. Today I'm going to bring you a cute little card that I have made using two stamp sets out of the new catalogue 2016 through to 2017, and one is called Label Alphabets and one is called Love You Lots. So to get started, you're going to require I have used a different coloured cardstock to the one that I have used in the sample. I like to use different colours so people can see how it looks using different colours, and also so that I can give it to somebody and not have two of the same. So in the demonstration today you're going to need a piece of Blushing Bride 6 inches by 12 inches and a piece of Blushing Bride 4¼ inch by 4¼ inch. We'll also require two pieces of Whisper White. One is at 5¼ inch by 5¼ inch, and then you're going to require two pieces at 3½ inches by 3½ inches. You also need a piece of Italy Espresso that is at 5½ by 5½ inches, and a piece of foil sheet gold at 5¾ inch by 5¾ inch. Okay. So this is the sample. We have used the little hedgehogs in this particular application, and around the edge of the scalloped circle I have put some silver thread on this one, because in this one I used the silver foil, and in the one that I'm going to show you today we'll be using gold thread, hopefully you can see that, and gold foil. Okay. To start with, we need to cut two circles, scalloped circles, out of the Whisper White. I've already pre-cut one to save a bit of time, and we also need to cut one scalloped circle out of the Blushing Bride, so we'll require the big shot for that. So just placing the solid plate and then the first plate together using your scalloped circle thinlits. For the white one we're using a smaller one, placing the flat side of the thinlet down, and then the plate on top, and running it through. Again, placing the flat side of the scalloped circle down, or thinlet, and then your paper, your cardstock, and then your plate, and running it through the big shot. We have two white scalloped circles and we're going to glue them together. I just find that one scalloped circle on its own is not quite strong enough for when you're wrapping the metallic thread around the outside edge. So having two just gives it a bit of thickness and stability for you to be able to run your metallic thread around the outside edge of your scalloped circle. I used basic grey to do that. Just making sure you're well inked, because this particular stamp has lots of little fine details in it, and I like to make sure that all those fine details have coverage. Then just stamping central to your circle. Like so. So to give them a bit of colour, I am just going to use my aqua painter, and the first application of colour will be smoky slate. I'm going to spritz it. And I'm just colouring in the face and the hand and the feet of both Mr. Hedgehog and Mrs. Hedgehog. Have a piece of paper towel handy to clean off your aqua painter and move on to the next colour. I am using Tip Tap Toe, pushing the colour into the lid, opening it, oh that was clever of me, spritzing it, and I'm doing the hedgehog's bristles in the tip top toe. On both Mr. and Mrs. Hedgehog in the same colour. Just like so. Again, clean off your aqua painter. I'm using Marina Mist to do the sky. Again, pressing into the lid, spritzing, and I'm just going to just give it a little bit of blue sky by just no big blocks of colour, just a little bit of swishing about. Just like so. Nothing too fancy. Now I'm using wild wasabi to do a bit of grass. Again, inking the lid, spritzing. And I'm just going to do a little bit of grass. Just like so. I'm also going to do the little leaf on the flower. Clean off your aqua painter. I'm using Flirty Flamingo because I don't have Blushing Bride. So I'm just going to use a bit of this now. In this application I'm not actually going to spritz, I'm just drawing the colour up because we're only painting the flower, and painting that flower. And maybe on Mrs. Hedgehog I might just give her a little bit of a pink cheek. Just like so. Cleaning off my aqua painter and it's as simple as that. Now, don't forget, after each application where you have spritzed, to clean out your lid of your ink. Gold thread, then we're bringing in the gold thread. Now I have the gold thread in a plastic bag which has a hole in it, because I find that it gets out of hand if you runs away from you if you just have it sitting on the desk. So I tend to put it into a plastic bag and roll it out of the plastic bag so the thread doesn't run away from me. It's very fine, might be hard to see on the camera, but the effect is really nice when it's finished. Run around the outside edge with some tape. This will hold the thread in place while you're trying to maneuver it around the card. So you just want to run a nice, this looks a bit wrinkly, but I reassure you that it'll be fine once we take the backing tape off. Around the outside edge of that card. Like so. Remove the backing tape of the tear tape, and it's as simple as that. Just pushing down those wrinkles. Believe me, this just makes it so much easier when you're trying to put on your metallic thread. So I lay the metallic thread across the back, across the tape, push it into the tape and come in between the two scallops. So this is one scallop, you want to, and that's another scallop. You want to come in between the two scallops, like so. Then you're counting 7 scallops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're bringing your thread into your 8th scallop. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you bring the thread into the 8th scallop, like so. Bring it back, make sure it sticks. And we're going into the next scallop down from where we started, and the next, bringing it across to the next scallop up from where we just gone. So it's down and then up, and you do that all the way around. So it's down to the next one and up to the next one. Down, then up. Then down, then up. Down, up. So if you just keep it quite taut, and every now and again remember to push it into the tape, tear and tape at the back, you'll find that before you know it, you have completely gone around your circle, your scalloped circle, and you have a lovely kaleidoscope, that's the word I was looking for, pattern. And lucky last. Right. And just making sure that you bring it back over, push it into the tape so that it sticks, and cut that off. Put it down, flatten it out. The thread will stretch, so don't get too upset about that. Okay, Then you want to adhere it to your pink Blushing Bride circle. So I like to place the glue over the thread. Even though you've got tape there, I still like to make sure it's well and duly adhered and there's no chance of it coming undone. Then place that on your circle, making sure it lines up. Like so. Starting on the card, we're going to fold the 6 by 12 cardstock in half. Then we are going to attach the gold foil and the early espresso. Making sure that you have a nice even border around your foil and again around your early espresso, like so. And we're going to work on our white cardstock now, and this alphabet. On my sample, I made an anniversary card for my husband. So I've used Happy Anniversary for my wonderful man. So on this one, I'm just going to write thank you right at the very top. In the Flirty Flamingo. And I just use one letter at a time. And I find it easier to take the letters off with some tweezers, but everyone can do their own thing. But for me, it's important to take it off and just place it on with the tweezers. Now I find if I centralise this central line here on my backing paper, that I can, where it's central, and get my words nice and even across the page. Starting with the K being the central letter and placing this so that it's central on that grid, just ink and make sure your letter's up the right way. Nearly did the wrong thing. Place it on the card. Then when you do your next letter, you are placing it next to that, and that's the N. And you can see through these blocks, they're transparent, so you know where you want to lay your next one. You don't want to leave a gap, so just make sure that it's connected to the other letter already stamped, and stamp it. I will return to you when I'm finished doing this stamping. with something that looks like that. And just to add a bit of character, I put a little love heart and a couple of crosses down the bottom. So now I'm going to put my circle onto the white cardstock. I am going to put my printed and painted design onto my cardstock, my white cardstock, making sure we've got it central, and then applying or affixing the white cardstock to the card, right direction, like so. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but you might be able to see in the light there the flickering of the gold thread. And I really love these little hedgehogs. I think they're so cute. And I think they are great for giving to an adult as much as giving to a child. Have a nice day.